Hi everyone, thank you for watching. Obviously, my IT band stretch video has been a hit. I have received some requests for modifications for some of those stretches, okay? Now, the title of the video was called IT band stretch, but essentially it was a hip series opener. So there was a lot of different, we basically looked at the hip and stretched it in basically most of the motions, internal, external rotation, adduction, a little bit of, well, mainly those were the ones. But so I'm going to show you some modifications here for those who are unable to do many of those stretches. So the first one, let's start off right from the start. The first one is here, okay? Now, if a person's really tight, they're going to be really kind of falling over to the left. Also do it laying down. So the first stretch, what I do is you can just kind of scoot yourself over to the left if you're stretching your right thigh, and then just let the leg fall over, and don't let this part of your hip, don't do this, don't let it come up off the ground. You want to keep it here. So both sides of your pelvis are flat against the floor. Now it can come off a little, but not a lot. In fact, I like to put the arm out sometimes to help keep the body from overly turning and getting the hip off the floor. So I'm pulling this way with this top leg, and then I'm kind of turning my body, my lower body, towards this way. So it creates a stretch, and the same muscle, or the same muscles that you would do in the first stretch. What you want to do is, if you have a yoga block, you can use this, or you can use anything that you can sit on that'll elevate you. We can go into this stretch. So the block will elevate you so that you can be able to do these stretches properly. Now, everyone's different, so I don't know what a person's, I'd have to see the person on a case-by-case basis. But this next one here is opening up the leg here and then drawing it over the top here. Another thing I want to go into that kind of touches it on the World's IT Band Stretch video is, I remember initially I said that this takes the stretch off of the hip if you let the ankle slack. Well, there's varus and valgus stresses, so there's inside and outside stresses that can come across the knee, and a lot of times if the hip is really tight or if other areas are tight, most of the stretch can go into the knee, which is what we don't want. And if it's something that a person does feel, then in that case it would be okay to let the ankle bend and let it slack, so you can take some of the stretch off of the knee and perhaps keep some of it on the hip. So everyone's different. So having it over more, the knee is going to place more stretch. In fact, it may even change it from the knee. So you have the option of keeping it over here, or you can let it kind of just slack this way. Now, let me go back into, for those who are unable to get into this stretch. The next modification, this is a common stretch, is this one here, where you can literally just go into this stretch. So you can grab behind the knee, or if it's not enough stretch, you can grab right under the knee, here. And for some people, I have clients who have very tight muscles in the back of the neck. You can put a block under your head. Actually, a block would be uncomfortable, but you want to put some sort of a padding under your head to eliminate the neck stretch. The neck stress if your head comes off the floor by doing this stretch. Another way you can do the stretch, this is a little more progressive, is you can actually do the stretch laying down. So, but you'd have to be careful and mindful of the low back. The low back can kind of arch off the ground. You don't want that to happen. You want to kind of engage your core and kind of, slightly round the back a little bit. But if you feel this in your lower back, then, or if you feel anything that's painful or uncomfortable, then just don't do it. But laying down, I find, is kind of a gravity-assisted stretch, and it allows one to get the stretch they want if they're not flexible enough. Because when you're seated in that stretch, it puts more stretch on the hip. Here, it's a little less because your body's in extension. So you're not creating so much stretch being in a flexed trunk position. So those are some modifications. Another stretch you can do is I have this chair here. So again, you can do this seated here, where you can have your foot here. To take some of the, if it's too much stretch, you can kind of have it slid over this way, but more stretch would be over here. So you can sit up nice and tall and just kind of lean, just kind of sit up straight and you'll feel the stretch. If that's not enough stretch, then obviously you can lean forward. And so this would be a nice little other alternative to be able to get into these stretches. But, so anyway, I just wanted to make this video to kind of touch up on those questions and those concerns as far as kind of beginner level stretches. So, you know, hopefully this video was helpful, and as always, thank you for watching.